Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another One Piece video. Before we actually get into what I want to talk about, there's a few things I want to go over. One of them being the fact that I'm playing Cluster Truck for background gameplay in a One Piece video. I'm experimenting with a few new things. I'm editing now, so I doubt it really matters like what's happening in the background. I thought One Piece gameplay would work for One Piece content, but I'm gonna have like things coming up on screen anyway, so I doubt it really makes a difference. Second thing I'd like to say is if you could all please go vote down below. I've set up a Twitter poll about maybe doing some different content. All the information's there, so if you could, that would be wonderful. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, One Piece is in its end game. Oda has been crafting a rich story for so many years, and for a good few months now, we've reached the end game of One Piece, the dead end. We've got a few years left, but in One Piece terms, that's not a lot. And there's so much happening. Every chapter is jam-packed full of information, and every chapter doesn't just feel like something could happen next chapter. Everything is happening this chapter, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I'm really excited to see what Oda has in store. But this video is going to be talking about everything that has happened thus far in the final saga, and, well, just a few theories on what I think could happen next. And first of all, I'd like to discuss Shanks. Now, Shanks was and still is a character that hasn't done much in One Piece, but since the final saga, he's done two notable things, and that's pretty incredible for a character like Shanks. He is Not only did he like take out an admiral whilst not even being like anywhere near him, being like miles away from him and just wiping him out with Conqueror's hockey, saying he's going to claim the One Piece, and then also just wipes the floor with Kid's crew. It was incredible. I loved it. I feel a little bad for Kid. Like the worst generation are dropping like flies. So that's not good. But I'm sure they'll be fine. Probably. Um, but no, Shanks has done a few notable things, and when he says he's going to claim the One Piece, I'm not entirely sure what he means by that, because obviously he knows most likely where the One Piece is. He just needs the final poneglyph to get to it, which he probably already has, because the place he fought with Kid on, Elbaf, had the poneglyph on it, the final one. Although we have heard mentioned of a man with a burn mark who has the poneglyphs. I've heard someone compare him to Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean, but I think whoever this man with the burn mark is currently, I think it's up in the air. It could be just about anyone, because it could be realistically, it could be any single person in One Piece. As long as they've got a burn mark, they're eligible to be this man. But, I doubt Oda would introduce a new character that we haven't heard of before into the story. I just don't think that seems like something he would do. Not that we're so late into it now. Like, when he introduces characters like Hibari, just a random marine, who, yeah, she plays somewhat of a role, but, like, she's just like a side character, isn't she? She's not going to fit into the overarching story, but I doubt Oda would introduce a character now that like has not even had so much as a mention to them and have them be like the final boss or something. It does not seem like something that Oda would do. But I don't know what Shanks is up to. I don't know why he's going after the One Piece, because he practically shown no interest in it prior to this point. So whenever he's after it, I am interested. Possibly, I don't know, he wants to destroy the world government and the One Piece is how he's going to do that. I don't know. Because we've seen him talk with the world government. It's very up in the air what Shanks is up to right now. But, there's also the other problem. Sabo kind of got maybe burnt to a crisp. Probably not, but maybe. So Sabo, of course, invaded Marija. We were all played for fools for many a month, possibly years. We all kind of thought that Sabo was going to be executed. Uh, he hadn't. He was now being hailed as the Flame Emperor for basically burning down the home of the Celestial Dragons, which pretty based. Not gonna lie, pretty based. But also going toe to toe with admirals, even if they couldn't go all out, but like that's still pretty based, I would say. I'd say it's very reasonably based. But I am a little confused on what happened to him. I don't think anyone can probably figure it out. We've had a few guesses, like, oh, is it a Nell or Eneru? But no, it's very unlikely gonna be him. Is it Doflamingo? 16 bolts of lightning coming from down from the sky. Doflamingo has like a move called like 16 bullets or something, like heavenly bullets. I see it, but it's extremely unlikely. I think if Doflamingo would have done that, I think we'd have been introduced to him. Possibly, it could be Doflamingo Seraphim, because we know they've like introduced a few of the Seraphims. Maybe there's one of Doflamingo. Maybe that's how he did it. I could see it, but I don't know why Oda would keep that secret from us. It wouldn't be like the most interesting of mysteries. I think it's more likely that Emu has an insanely powerful devil fruit, and we can't even begin to understand like what it's capable of. I think it's much more likely that it's going to be that. But no, the Revolution Army, they took back Kuma, so that was good. Kuma finally freed from being, I believe, what they called an invincible slave. To be fair, they weren't wrong, but at the same time, very mean of them. But no, Kuma is freed, taken in by the Revolutionary Army once again, only to end up running off. Well, I can only imagine to go see his daughter, but can't confirm that really. I just, it would make a lot of sense. We also learned that Kuma can teleport himself, which I didn't realize. I knew he could teleport people. I didn't realize he could teleport himself. Obviously, it does make a lot of sense, but I was just like, we've never seen him do it before, so it's nice that we get that little bit of confirmation. It's good to have. But no, we see him go off on his own, go and fight go and literally climb the red line. So it's either he's returning to Marijua or he's returning to his daughter. One of the two. Let's hope it's the daughter one, because it was hard enough to get him out of Marijua once. Let's hope they don't have to do it again. Um, ooh, but no, whatever Kuma's up to, I'm sure it's going to be big. I'm sure we're going to have like a big moment, because we saw him climbing. He kind of got shot with a lot of stuff, and then he kind of fell. But I'm sure we'll see more of that in coming chapters, because every chapter is packed full of stuff now. Like packed full of like sweet like storytelling goodness. Sweetly packaged with a nice little ribbon by Oda. Very nice of him. But no, we also get the fact that Sabo was, he kind of fought with like, we know he fought with the flipping admirals, not just one but two. So that's incredible. We get a good idea of how powerful Sabo is, even if the admirals weren't going all out, which is clearly stated to us. But you know, even so, that would still be pretty incredible. Even an admiral that can't go all out is still pretty powerful. So Sabo's power level, I'd argue it's about first commander level. I wouldn't say he's as strong as Luffy, maybe. I don't know, man. Because I'd say if Luffy went up against two admirals, he could probably maybe win. Maybe. I don't even know how strong Lucci is. So at the moment, I'm not going to question power levels, because I don't want to become a power level discussing channel. I think that's when we go downhill. But no, Sabo killed Cobra. Now, of course, we're 99% sure this isn't the case. Like, Sabo literally said he didn't. Of course, Sabo could be lying. This could be like the ultra huge giga plot by Sabo. But, it's very unlikely that Sabo would lie about that. So, King Cobra apparently killed by Sabo, but not really. So, how that's gonna end, I don't know. I do wonder how the like state of the One Piece world will change with like one of the biggest countries' leaders just being killed. I do wonder, but like that's later down the line. I reckon that's gonna be like right at the end of the story. Like I don't know, Vivi goes back to Alabasta, becomes queen, and then just like reforms the place. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to be discussing the One Piece country politics right now. But it could be, couldn't be. Who knows? Um, we do know that Vivi is actually traveling with Big News Morgans and Wapple, which I think is an interesting trio. Got Big Bird, uh, flipping average heart attack diner resident, and Vivi, all traveling together on a flipping airship. I'm looking forward to seeing what shenanigans they get up to, but I doubt we'll see most of them. Um, I do find it interesting what Big News Morgans is doing, so I do want to cut back to him. At first, I was like, huh, Big Birdman, funny. But now that I find out that he's like, when I found out that he was actually like one of the most powerful people in One Piece, just because he controls the entire news in the entire world, that's just based. That's based. He can do whatever he wants. No one can stop him. But no, let's actually talk about something a bit more serious than Big Bird traveling with Heart Attack Dino Resident and Vivi. Let's talk about Blackbeard and Law. Now, Blackbeard fought with Law, which has been going on in chapters quite often, but recently we had a conclusion to that battle in the most recent chapter where we saw the fact that Law's crew was defeated, which I was a bit surprised by. We were actually given a glimmer of hope that they might actually win. Law's crew were actually competent, which was quite surprising, as we were led to believe they were all pretty bad. But they were actually quite competent. They managed to stamp Blackbeard. However, it wouldn't last long because they ended up getting destroyed. And the only way they could escape is with Beppo, turning Sulong and getting Law out of there. Now, if he hadn't done that, Law probably would have been dead, or I don't know, sold on the black market or something. I don't know. So happy that Beppo got him out of there. Could have gone really bad if he didn't, but I do wonder what Blackbeard is up to though. He's kind of going places that I don't really think he needs to go to. Surely his end goal is to obtain the One Piece, because when he's confronted by Whitebeard and he confronts Whitebeard in like Marineford, Whitebeard states that the one Roger is waiting for is not you, which means that Blackbeard may have some intention of going after the One Piece, but so far we've seen him not even try to do this. All he's done so far is make a home at Pirate Island. He wants to establish Pirate Island as an official country in the eyes of the world government, and he wants to, well, I think, collect devil fruits. Maybe is there like an overarching goal here? I, I don't really know because so far we've seen him go to Amazon Lily, beat up Boa Hancock. We've seen him go to the New World, beat up Law, and so far, I don't think he stole Law's devil fruit. He may have done it off screen. Okay, guys, we got to hold out. He didn't say room just yet. And if he did steal Boa Hancock's devil fruit, why? Because it's been a bit of a meme in the One Piece community for a while now. The love fruit only turns people to stone if they're attracted to you. And no offense to Blackbeard, but I don't really think that that's gonna work for him. And I like there's no confirmation he actually stole the devil fruit, but like why did he go to Amazon Lily then? Just for fun? just to go and see the huge Luffy poster in the middle of like the city. I don't know. I wonder what his motives are, but I can't seem to figure them out because at the moment he doesn't seem to be doing anything of actual note. I'm assuming he's got some overarching goal, but of what? Who, like, what is he doing? At the moment, I'm kind of assuming he's working with Emu, and there's like a big mastermind that's like pulling his strings. Because Blackbeard, like, he knew what devil fruit he was after in the beginning. Like, he knew he wanted the dark, like, powers of the devil fruit. So, like, why did he know he wanted it? Like, what? Who told him about this devil fruit? Because obviously, most people who eat devil fruits, they don't know what power they're going to get before they eat them. So how did Blackbeard know this particular devil fruit was the one he wanted, was the one he needed? Like, yeah, he could have just like, it could have just been any devil fruit. But he knew it was the one he wanted. He knew it was the one that would give him like power. But who let him know this? That's what I want to know. Honestly, I'm still holding out like a hope that it's Lafitte. Lafitte is like the big mastermind. He's been controlling Blackbeard from the start. He's a member of I don't know. I honestly I'm going out on a limb here, but like Lafitte, he may just be the mastermind. He may be a puppet. Okay, I gotta stop for a moment, take a sip of the good stuff. That is pretty good. Said Eminem in a commercial in maybe the 90s or something. Um, I think at least. But so yeah, what is happening with Blackbeard? No clue. I have no idea what he's doing. There's the free skulls theory that he needs free devil fruits because he's got the tremor fruit, he's got the dark fruit, and some people may have believed it was the love fruit was the third one. Maybe an awakened form of the love fruit can overdo its ability to, only work if a person is attracted to you. But then again, he'd have to learn how to awaken it. Like, you can't just awaken a devil fruit by saying, yeah, funny. Uh, so it could have been the Ope no Mi he was after. But again, why? I don't understand why he'd need it. Because even then, when he was about to get it, he considered not getting it and just selling it on the black market because it's worth like 500 million. I, which is making me really confused. What this guy wants. I don't know what Blackbeard is after. Surely the One Piece, right? But why? What does he have to gain? Does he care about being king of the pirates? I doubt he can get more famous than he already is, controlling an island all by himself, having literally the whole world after him. I really have no clue, not even in the slightest, what he's up to, what he's planning. He's just, he's an anomaly to me. I don't get him. But let's move on from Blackbeard and talk about Cross Scaled, which was probably one of the most exciting things to happen as of last year, aside from Sun God and Gear 5. So I was very happy when I saw Cross Scaled. It was so cool seeing Big Old Buggy come together with Mihawk and Crocodile. I'm happy to see that now Crocodile is a part of the Cross Guild. It means we're going to see a lot more of him. I feel bad for the animators because apparently it was very hard to animate like his sand. I'm pretty sure it was pretty hard to draw it as well. So when they have to animate sand again, uh, bless your souls. However hard it was to make sand, whether it was in the manga or the anime, bless your souls. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing what Mihawk gets up to because Mihawk may have done even less than Shanks because Mihawk had the cool moment at the beginning of the story. He did some stuff in the war. He kind of like just swang his sword around and did a bit of damage, but nothing of real note. And now he's in Cross Guild. He trained Zoro, but anyone could have done that. And I don't, and I don't say that in like a bad way, but like let's say Zoro accidentally came upon Rayleigh instead of Rayleigh coming upon Luffy. Rayleigh would have ended up teaching Zoro, and Zoro would have become stronger in a different way. I just like, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of shenanigans Mihawk gets up to down the line because God, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's capable of. Surely he's gonna take place in whatever the final saga is. I'm a bit sad he didn't join Cross Guild with Perona. I think that would have been very cool. But you know, Perona's off saving Moria, sadly. I really wish Perona would have joined them because, you know, everybody loves Perona. You can't hate Perona. She was the second funniest person on Thriller Bark aside from Usopp, uh, who who was already too negative to be made more negative. Damn, shit goes hard. Um, but no, Cross Scaled, I'm very excited to see what happens with them. At the moment, they haven't done much. They haven't appeared in many chapters since they were introduced, maybe like the one they were introduced in and the one after. But I'm really, really excited to see the dynamic between Buggy, Mihawk, and Crocodile. I think that there's no way that that's not going to be incredible. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited for it, and I hope you are all too, because it's going to be good. It's going to be so good. The gang together at last. The crew we all wanted. Straw Hats? Nah. Cross Guild? Yeah. But no, let's move on to the battle on Amazon Lily. Obviously, I've already mentioned this with Blackbeard, but you know, Rayleigh did appear there. He kind of made Blackbeard leave, but the thing is, like, why? I don't think if Blackbeard went head to head with Rayleigh, yeah, Rayleigh probably do some damage, but in the end, Blackbeard would win. Rayleigh's way past his prime. Like, even if he was the right hand man of the king of the pirates, bro, he's not. He's left his prime about like 40 years ago. I think it's about time he pulls in the towel, and I don't see how he would be able to scare Blackbeard off. Maybe Blackbeard just did out of respect. I couldn't tell you really. No, I couldn't. Um, but yeah, so Rayleigh kind of just appeared. Not that I'm against it. It's just kind of like, oh, why did he appear? Like I get it because he saved like he knows Boa Hancock. He saved her when she was younger, but you know it's big confusion. Um, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens. But overall, that is probably the least exciting part of the arc. It was kind of just like, who's gonna save Boa Hancock? Rayleigh. But no, then we move on to the most recent stuff, which is Aokiji versus Garp. And now, this is the first time we've probably seen Garp in action. And to see him literally go against Aokiji is so sick. But not to mention, we actually get to see Garp use a named move. Just like Shanks, he's taking it big now. He's using actual named moves. Shit. And he used one that literally made me swoon. I was so happy to hear its name because I was like, how can the name of an attack get better than this? Literally called Galaxy Impact. Damn! Damn, that's good. Galaxy Impact. My God. And I like Blue Hole, maybe not as good, but like, Galaxy Impact. Oh my God. I probably freaking out about this way too much, but it's just such a cool named move. Just Galaxy Impact. Oh my God. Oh my God. So sick. So sick. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen with Aokiji. I just, I doubt, I just don't really understand his motives really, because like Blackbeard kind of like won him over with like the whole idea of, none of us are friends. We just do what we want, and like we follow. We're like greedy, and we take what we want. We do what we want. But I don't understand why Aokiji would follow that like ideal. It just doesn't seem like Like, even if he was quite a lazy Marine, he was still a Marine, right? I think I don't get what his end goal is here. Maybe to usurp like Akainu, but why? And like obviously Garp's cutting him a lot of slack, so whatever he's done so far can't have been bad. Because Garp's even saying, "Come back to the Marines." So if he does, I'm assuming he gets cut a lot of slack. So I don't get what Aokiji's end goal is here, but that's besides the point. Now we're gonna have to speedrun this because I've been talking about all this and I haven't even mentioned Egghead Island. And that is the main like focus of chapters recently have been on Egghead. I don't know how much longer Egghead's gonna last. I reckon at a push, maybe October will be about the end of Egghead Island. If I, that's a very short guess because I doubt Oda would keep us on Egghead for much longer. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Egghead is the final arc. Maybe that's where the war is taking place. Because, and I will talk about this in a bit, everything's coming together to make this the final arc. Like, Oda said the final arc would be, like, the most hyped war arc in One Piece, which is basically in all of anime, because One Piece is the best series ever. But, I'm not going to say anything. But, I do wonder about this war arc, and is Egghead actually the final arc of the series? Because everything's coming together to make it that way. But we'll get to that. So obviously, a lot of things have happened in Egghead. They get there, interrupted by Lilith. Luffy ends up finding a robot from like a long while back. I think that's powered by like music or something. We get introduced to Vegapunk. Luffy goes Gear 5, fights Lucci. But something that I think is the most interesting in this arc is the Seraphims, who by accident I actually found out were named after angels, who are quite low ranking angels with red wings. Now, I don't, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure the Seraphim's wings actually may be possibly red. I'm 99% sure they're black, but they may be red, and that would make the correlation even bigger. And when I read up a little bit about the Seraphims, apparently they're low-ranking angels that sit next to the throne of God. So what that means, I don't know. Maybe like they sit next to like the world government protecting like maybe there'll be like a final guard to Emu at the end of the story. I couldn't tell you. I have no clue as to what's going to happen at the moment. But whatever happens, I'm willing to bet it's going to be good. So I did find it a little bit interesting that Seraphims were actually named after angels. I did find that very interesting, and the fact that it had like, even if the wings are black, the fact that like Seraphims like wings and everything, it could be a correlation. I think it's good idea to keep it in mind. Like possible, or maybe like the red wings. They even if they have black wings, the red is represented by the fire on their back. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know. Um, but we'll think about that along the lines. But a lot of other stuff is happening. Luffy runs away from Lucci, after basically beating the crap out of him. Lucci manages to take out Sentomaru while Luffy, Chopper, Jinbei, and Bonnie run away. They're all off on their own. They're going up into the Labo phase. We see Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy challenge Zoro, only for Stussy to betray them. It turns out she's actually a clone of Miss Buckingham, who is actually a member of the Rocks Pirates, who, I won't go into depth with, but if you know One Piece, the Rocks Pirates, whenever they're mentioned, the fans go wild, and for good reason, too. Like, they barely appear, but when they do appear, they're big news. We then actually get to see Miss Buckingham, like the actual one, who is a bit upset because her dear son, Edward Weevil, has been taken in by the Marines. She she basically asks Marco for help, although she didn't really. She basically said, "This land is not yours. It belongs to me. You know, it's my husband. He's dead. I want it now." So I don't know what she's on about. She's a very short lady. I don't. Honestly, he's working as a doctor. I think you need to give him some slack. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But Miss Buckingham is kind of having a rant. So Edward Weevil has been taken in. I don't know how that'll play a part. I don't think Marco will be allowed to go out of the story, though. No matter how hard Marco tries to leave the story of One Piece, he always just gets dragged back in. I don't know. I kind of feel a little bad for him because anytime Marco tries to leave the story, he always just gets like yanked back in for one reason or another. So, you know, but we'll see how that little side story will go. But, you know, we then, you know, see like Luffy and Zoro just kind of like sit there with like Lucci and Kaku tied up on the floor. Uh, there's like someone who's betrayed them in the Labo phase on Egghead Island. You know, the island's been surrounded by like Marines. Everything's going to shit, basically. They've basically called a buster call on Egghead, which, if they manage to survive it, that'll mean Luffy and the Straw Hats have survived two buster calls. Their second one didn't go so well, but they didn't die. They didn't die, but they did take a severe amount of damage, and by that I mean they all ended up in random places. Um, but you know, if they manage to survive another Buster Call, that'll be the first group of people to ever survive three of them, as far as we know. But no, the whole gang split up until they're all confronted by different Seraphims who've been given an order by the person who's betrayed them, which I will talk about in a split second. But you know, the Seraphims, you know, they're all attacked. Poor Usopp, you know, gave me a in the back of my mind. Bit of a moment like that because poor Usopp got turned to stone, including Lilith. You know, respect. She very epic, love her. But you know, they got turned to stone by S Snake. S Hawk and S Bear are fighting with Luffy, Kaku, uh, Lucci, and Zoro. You know, you've got flipping that other one, Jinbei, S Fish. He's probably called. I'd argue he's probably called S Fish. I don't really remember what his Seraphim name was, but I'm 99% sure he's called S Fish. Um, and if that is in fact the case, based. So S Fish attacks, I believe, Sanji's group. I think it is. And I think the other groups are pretty much okay because I think there is only four Seraphims on Egghead as of the time being. If there is more of them, they're not around at the moment. So, yeah. Uh, but no, we find out who betrayed them. So Shaka, who is with Luffy, Lucci, Kaku, and Zoro, uh, who is also a member of the Satellites, Vegapunk's basically six brains. Um, Shaka being the number one version of them, like the best of them, Shaka the Good, runs off to go look for something, finding Vegapunk trapped down in the underground cage in Egghead. Uh, when Shaka gets there to free him, Shaka gets shot. And now at first I was like, oh no, there's blood everywhere. But in hindsight, it was most likely oil because Shaka isn't real. He's a robot with very high intelligence. But yeah, he's a robot. At least I'm pretty sure he is. They all look very human. Um, and we find out the person who betrayed them is another satellite who is York 06, and her goal is to become a celestial dragon. Don't know why you would want that. Yes, like they get everything they want, but they also look like, you know, my left ass, my left cheek, and also all they do is wake up, shit, sleep, and eat. So shit, sleep, eat. That is not a life I would want to live, even if it did mean I got everything I ever wanted. No, not to mention I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to be included with those people. Like, why would you want to do that to yourself? And now the final part of the chapter, well, the final part of the arc that we've seen so far is, everyone's enclosing on Egghead. The Marines are enclosing the Buster Call. We've got Kizaru who's showing up. This is his second time being at a Buster Call for the Straw Hat Pirates. Only this time he's bringing someone with him, and this has got me excited. He is bringing one of the Elder Stars with him, which shouldn't be as interesting as it is. But the fact that he's bringing an Elder Star who up until now have done nothing but discuss like the biggest matters in the world and who are literally the most high-ranking people in the entire world of One Piece, aside from maybe that of Emu. The fact that he's on the move, not to mention his name is so sick. If I had this name, oh, I would be such a twat, but it would be such a cool name. His name is just J. Garcia Satin. That is so sick. So sick. And we also see, though, aside from Jay Garcia Satin and Kizaru coming up on Egghead, we also see Blackbeard. Now, yeah, he didn't really show his face or anything, but we can see his boot coming in on one of his little rafts. So, bit concerning. Blackbeard is on his way. And however this turns out, it probably won't go well. Now that is basically all of the info from the most recent saga, and obviously the saga isn't finished yet because it's the final saga, and if it was finished, so would One Piece. Unless maybe there's like a final arc right at the end, but I'm sure that would be included in the final saga, correct? But no, honestly, the final saga so far has been filled with peak chapter after peak chapter. It's obvious that Oda is going for gold here. I believe, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but I'm 99% sure that Oda once stated that he wanted to make his final arc to be one of like the most hyped and anticipated arc that there's ever been in anime. And he will be taking the time to do this, as he originally said One Piece should be finishing by 2025, but then stated like for fans not to worry because he will be taking his time with it, not rushing it, and giving it the proper ending it deserves, which I think is very good because I think most of the time now we're seeing a lot of long-running series that just have terrible endings. Naruto, I I didn't mind the ending. There was nothing bad about it, but it wasn't anything like special. I would say it just kind of like ended where you think it should have ended, and yeah, I think, and I really don't want One Piece's ending to be bad because we want to leave this series on a good note. And I think Oda is going to be able to make it the best ending of all time, and I'm going to say that now. I'm going to say it now. I'm looking forward to seeing how he finishes the series. Who Emu is. There's plenty of mysteries to be unfolded and stuff. I'm pretty sure that Oda once stated that there would be a character with an eye patch back in 2010. Uh, there's still not been a character with an eye patch, so maybe we'll be seeing an eye patch character soon. Maybe it'll be the guy with the burn mark. Who knows? But there's also plenty of other mysteries. I also would like to talk a little bit about a little theory that came up. So after Stussy was revealed to be a clone of Miss Buckingham, uh, we learn, we learn that there is the possibility to make clones. A big theory came out about like how Stussy is so if Stussy's a clone, then maybe Zoro's a clone of Ryuma. And now I did see this, but it has been debunked. For anyone who doesn't know, that theory was debunked. Zoro is a part of Ryuma's family, though. He is an ancestor of Ryuma. I believe Ryuma would have been his great great grandfather or something. Um, so he is part of the Ryuma clan. I don't know if he still would be considered a part of it because I'm pretty sure he changed clans as it went down the line, but like, overall he has got some relation to Ryuma, so it explains the it really does explain how the two are related and why Oda's original drawing of Ryuma in Wanted looked so much like Zoro because they are related. I like that. I like that Oda has confirmed that. But it does also seem like we won't be getting any backstory for Zoro. I very much doubt we will be. Like we got to spend some time with Zoro in Wano, but we never really got any story behind him. We've always just kind of like left Zoro, and it is a little bit sad. But maybe we'll get a bit of backstory on him, maybe a little something, maybe like even the reincarnation of Ryuma, like instead of being his clone, maybe being like a reincarnation of him down the line. I don't know, but overall, I think I've discussed just about every theory I've seen. Aside from my terrible theory that I came up with months ago, that was like debunked like a month after I came up with it. So that I haven't discussed that one because it was pointless. But if you want to find that one, it'll be in one of the One Piece chapter reviews, which you could binge if you wish to. I don't know why you'd do that to yourself, but you could. You could binge them. It would be fun. That would be fun. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash the like button. Don't just like it. Smash it. Just if you're watching on your laptop or something, just get your fist out and just punch the screen as hard as you can. Don't actually do that, by the way. I don't want to be responsible for a bunch of people smashing their laptops into pieces. But yeah, smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. And also, please go down to the link in the description and vote on the poll. It would be very much appreciated because I'm trying to decide what to do, and you'd all be a great help in doing that. All the information is down there. I've done a two-part tweet, so I hope you enjoy. And yeah, that is all for today. Thank you and goodbye.